Therapy Flow community, we're back talking about the cost of summer slumps. We hear this process, we hear this topic often on, there's just this down season. There's, in the summer, clients leave. We'll wait for the rush to pick back up in the fall. A lot of processes, a lot of thoughts on just the topic of summer slump and the existence in the therapeutic space. But there is I would say in some ways, a cost of expecting this to be a mentality or letting the inevitable, for some of you who feel like it's an inevitable result, consistently in your practice. So if you're joining me today, I want to walk you through some of the numbers that are present when they add up in a really significant degree, when you sort of let this summer slump happen to you. So we know from experience that the average clinician, whether you're solo or you're trying to fill out a team member as a group practice, wants to see typically somewhere between 20 and 25 clients as a full caseload on a weekly basis. And we're going to do some calculations across 48 weeks of the year, leaving about 4-ish weeks for time off, variables, whatever else in this process. But that 20 to 25 sessions on a weekly basis is typically like a clinician max in a private practice setting. It's just what we've heard, what we've seen, what we found. Obviously, your max is defined. Some people like 30, some people like 15. So we're going to talk about that client max amount, the maximum amount of clients you want to see in a week, and you want your clinicians to see in a week. So there's some really interesting math. If you charge, or if you are completing 20 to 25 sessions a week for 48 weeks of the year, that's anywhere between 960 and 1,200 sessions that a clinician is completing in a 12-month period. Between essentially 1,000 to 1,200. Now, if we extrapolate that out and you get about $120 either average reimbursement or average cash pay rate, I understand these numbers go up and down a little bit, or go up and down a lot of it depending on your situation. But I just want to use the example of $120 per session. That is $115,000 to $144,000 of annual revenue for your private practice per clinician on your team. If you're solo, it's all you, or that's per clinician on your team, what they will potentially generate for your practice top line for taxes, expenses, marketing, payout split, anything else. So as we're digging into this, one of the things that we can essentially look at is what is the cost for, on average, if I'm trying to do 20 sessions a week, and I only complete 18 sessions a week on average for that entire year, or only 16 sessions a week, or only 9 sessions a week. And when you do the math, one slot is worth at 120 session rate about $6,000 per slot that's on your calendar, regardless of what your session max is. So if you want to do 10 sessions, if you want to do 15, 20, 25, right? Every session that you consistently fill on your calendar at that rate is worth about $6,000 for the business across the entire year. This is a significant amount of money. And what happens then is for every then session that you do not have filled in your calendar consistently, you're essentially losing $6,000 across the entire year. And now this is a great point of reflection. On average, how many sessions do you do a week? And is that above or below what you would prefer to be your weekly session max of consistency? Is that above or below what you would prefer to do as your session max for level of consistency? And how far away is it? We talked to a lot of clinicians, hey, I've been at 10 sessions a week, or I've been at 5 sessions a week, or 12 or 18, whatever the number is. But sometimes, for instance, if your session max is 20 and you're only seeing 10 clients a week, you're missing out on almost $60,000 in annual income for you and or per clinician on your team that's not filled out. And this is why this number really matters, because it creates this roller coaster ride in private practice where we look and in some ways even accept the variable nature of our schedule. Then we lose out on cash that we either plan for or the profit that we're hoping to truly see. Because if you're a group practice owner, even if you're a solo practice owner, you have fixed costs. You have your time to show up and do the session, but you have your marketing dollars, you have your insurance, you have your LLC, you maybe have a building, you have all these things that are fixed cost. And you have to do a certain amount of sessions just to get above that fixed cost. And then you have to do even more sessions to see the results of profit coming from that. And a lot of times you will make the most amount of money, aka dollar for dollar, every session you take above that fixed cost. Every session you do above that fixed cost, you earn more with, or you have a better profit margin on. So staying at 15 sessions a week versus 18 sessions a week, those last 3 sessions are worth more than your first 3 sessions in terms of cash in your pocket. And I hope this is making sense, but to boil it all down to that $6,000 number per annual empty slot on your calendar. We need to build a marketing system, a marketing process that serves your business interests, that goes above and beyond your session max. Because what we're actually thinking about is, what's the floor? Well, the floor would be 20 sessions a week. Instead of that, be the ceiling. And it's this mindset shift of like, I need to stack at least 20 sessions a week, and I can't go above this, otherwise I'll get burned out. It's a very narrow target that you're actually trying to hit. So we need to create a system that has more complexity, a system that has more control, more agility, so we can more consistently hit this small target. Shotgun, with a big spray, it's going to be a lot harder to hit an exact target than a rifle with a scope on it. And of course, you have the skill of the marksman in general. Many of you take the shotgun approach to marketing your practice. You do a little bit over here, you do a little bit over there, and you even let the wind, the summer, the seasons, the changing, the psychology todays of the world, right? You let that dictate how much is or is not showing up on your calendar. When in reality, we need the equivalent of a scope, and to learn how to use the scope so we can precisely hit our target whenever we need to for the clinicians on our team. And this is what I mean by a marketing system, a precise process where we consistently get more inquiries needed to fill our sessions than probably what's always needed, especially when it's needed. And we talk about the different ways that you can market your practice all the time in our different content, in our Facebook group, the YouTube channel, wherever it is that you're consuming this, in the newsletter. And it's using these things, but with a level of volume, a level of execution. It's dialing in this process to perform consistently for you. Because we have practice owners right now inside of our private process, our private program, the flagship therapy flow program, that are growing, that are filling out more clinicians, hiring more clinicians, and are in growth mode even during the summer. And what we just need to look at here is the season in business. We have to dress appropriately and or just create marketing systems that serve us appropriately for the different seasons in the business. I'm not going to say that there is no such thing as a summer slump, or there's no such thing as clients at different volumes or processes falling out at different points in the summer seasons or in transition seasons, holidays like that. But what is true is that there's still a very large volume of potential clients still looking for therapeutic services. And we have to ramp up our marketing and build out our marketing processes to help with that, right? You only need a winter coat during the winter. You only need running shoes when you go running, and you only need a shovel if you're going to dig a hole. And what I want you to think about right now, but especially before the next transition comes, the holidays, next summer, whatever it is that there's kind of this slump-esque, is are you building the correct equipment needed to grow out of this process? Because what you need is a better and higher source, things that you can invest more money in, And this, a lot of times we talk about paid ads. We talk about the longevity of search engine optimization, but paid ads a lot. We talk about getting on additional listing sites and optimizing those. We talk about the volume of networking. Do we have places where we can go and push into a volume that's higher, right? And for a lot of our practice owners, it means they're spending more on ads during the summer than at other times of the year, but their session load remains stable and consistent. And yes, it might be a little easier to get clients in the fall when everyone's coming back. Great, we'll take that added bump. We'll take the warm weather, so to speak. But if we say anytime there's a slump, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't go outside because I can't dress for the cold. Or I can't hit the target because I only have a shotgun. We have to build a precise system that's going to get us the result that we need. That's why Therapy Flow exists, is to help you build precise systems in your business to build a 7-figure practice and beyond. And I just want to encourage you to reframe this summer slump issue, that when you experience a summer slump or big giant variable, it is costing you $6,000 per empty slot on your calendar that exists for the full year. So if you're missing 10 slots, either yourself or even just 10 slots across all of your clinicians consistently, well, you're missing out on $60,000 of revenue for the business. And that's really where your practice makes its money, is filling out and consistently hitting the max that makes sense for you, right? And I understand the max for 10, the max for 15, the max for 25. It's different for everyone, for your lifestyle, for all of those things. But you miss out massively when we don't build a precise system to consistently help us hit our max target to the tune of $6,000, per process or system. I invite you to consume some of our other content about marketing, or even join the Therapy Flow flagship program if this is something you want a lot of direct involvement from our team to help you build this precise system. But before we go into any holiday transitions, even now as we're still in the middle of summer, and definitely before next summer, don't let a summer slump happen to you. Prepare for it by building the correct systems, buying the correct clothing, right, for the next season in practice, because it's coming, it's there. And as business owners, we have to grow out of it and equip ourselves and our team to still be full and consistent through it. I hope this helps. Drop a comment, drop a question if you have any, and look out, and dig into some of the other process content that we have on those different venues of ads and SEO and other related marketing tactics that can help you grow out of the summer slump.